If you're watching this video, you're probably in a stage, or you're probably at a stage in your life where it feels like, there's nothing going on. You're aimless, you feel a little bit hopeless, you feel a little bit as if there should be something that, you should be doing. There should be something that you should be striving towards, but it feels like there's nothing. And let me tell you, it's not a unfamiliar feeling to me, and it's not an unfamiliar feeling to a lot of the world. Hi, my name is Red with Unofficial Red, and let me tell you something. I was at that place in my life, and I still feel like I am in that place. And I'm just gonna tell my point of view, my perspective, and maybe it can relate to you. Maybe you can be inspired a little bit from it, and maybe you can take away something from it. But at the very least, you have somebody that's kind of in that same headspace. So I just recently graduated from college. I say recently, it was about 6 months ago. I don't know how recent that really is, but I've recently graduated from college. I graduated with a degree that, to be fair, I didn't even want to get. My parents believed that college was the end-all be-all type of thing, where if you didn't graduate with a degree, you would be flipping burgers at McDonald's. In today's day and age, there's so many ways that you can be successful without a college degree. And I'm not saying that, if you're going into college majoring in like a STEM degree, to be an engineer or to be a doctor and all that. I mean, college is good for all those type of things. But whenever it comes to trades and passion and industries outside of STEM, it's kind of like the experience is king. Experience is king. But anyways, I've recently graduated from university with a degree, and lo and behold, I cannot find a fucking job that is in my major, which is digital communications and media. So a lot of just PR, advertising, marketing type of stuff. I live in a city where it's not that big. There's about 200,000 people, give or take. The firms that are already established, they already have their established crew and employees and all that stuff. I got a job at Best Buy, working at Geek Squad part-time, and let me tell you, that shit is since I'm still employed, I'm just gonna keep that to myself for now. I am at a place too where it feels like I'm not going anywhere with this channel. It's growing slowly, and just with my life in general. And I wake up every day and it's kind of like the same repetitive thing, and it doesn't feel like anything is happening in terms of what I'm wanting to happen. And maybe you relate to this too. It can be extremely stressful. It can be extremely anxiety inducing. It sucks. It sucks because at least for me, I know that I can do way better things. I'm supposed to be more than who I am right now in life. And maybe that's how you feel too. You know who you are. You know how much work you put in. You know how much this and that. And maybe you don't put in any work. At the end of the day, it's like you're trying really, really hard. But it just doesn't seem like you're going anywhere. And it's tough. It really is tough. I'm seeing everybody that I used to know back in high school and even back in college, and they're pretty well off. And it's like comparison is the thief of joy. We know that. I know that comparison is the thief of joy. I'm more than aware, but it's not something that it's not something that you should ever do, is compare yourself to another person. But whenever you're at a stage in your life where it's like you have all these deep emotions and weighted emotions, it really doesn't matter how aware you are, how much wisdom you have. It's almost like there's nothing you can do but besides think about where you should be, what you should be doing, and not focus on the present. I've started to realize, I'm 22 years old if you guys didn't know, but time and time again, I always get reminded that I'm not supposed to have it figured out at this age. And even then, if you're a little bit older than me, maybe you're 30, maybe you're 40, maybe you're 50, it's never too late to turn things around. It's never too late to get up again. Life knocks you down. It's kind of like a game where it's a test of how many times you can get back up. And each time that you get back up, it's a new chapter in your life, and you're a different person, and you're a better person, and you grow and you learn. And those things add to your experience. And the more experience you garner, the more you're ready for opportunities that come your way. And right now, the thing that's knocking me down is just the thoughts of I should be somewhere else. I should be doing something else. And I'm trying my best to get out of this phase in my life, this season in my life where it's difficult, and it involves a lot of waiting, and it involves a lot of not knowing what the future holds. But it's just getting through it. As long as you have the mentality of I'm gonna get knocked down, there's gonna be bad phases, there's gonna be bad seasons in my life. But no matter what, it's like, yes, it's difficult to always be optimistic. But if you develop that discipline of working hard, keeping your head down, always finding a way, and finding better opportunities out there somewhere, life kind of just presents itself, albeit pretty fucking slow. It's happened time and time again in my life where it feels there's like a stress variable in my life. I should be doing something, and if I don't do this something, then everything kind of falls apart. And I'm always stressed about, achieving this stressful thing in my life, not knowing the clear outcome of this stressful thing that I have to achieve. And if I don't achieve it, then it's gonna affect my life pretty drastically for the worse. For example, I had to find an internship for one of my college classes so that I could graduate. And the whole summer that I was looking for an internship for my last semester in university, I was stressed the fuck out. I didn't know if I was going to get that internship, and I spent the whole summer just kind of applying to as many places as possible and not hearing back for weeks and months at a time. At a point in that phase of my life, I was super stressed out. I was anxious, and I didn't know if I was gonna get any internships. And that's the most anxiety-inducing thing, is needing something, needing to accomplish something, but not knowing the outcome, because it's not up to you. And sometimes whenever you feel as if things are out of your control, that is really the most stressful thing. I've learned that there are seasons of waiting, and there are seasons of getting knocked down, and there are seasons of, prosperity, and seasons of blessings, and seasons of figuring things out, and seasons of things happening that are actually going your way. The only way to, get out of the slump of not sure where you're going, not sure where you're gonna end up, and feeling lost and hopeless and aimless in life, the only way to get out of that rut is to keep going. And it sounds cliche, it really does, but in life that's what it's all about. If you're younger than 30 years old, you're not supposed to have it all figured out. As difficult as it may sound, that's kind of just the truth of the matter. Is our 20s, your 20s, is supposed to be a phase in your life, a era in your life where you just, it's all about trial and error and putting yourself out there and being okay with failing. I grew up with the mentality of there is no room for failure. As a person that was born from Vietnamese immigrants, the only solution, the only future there is success. There was nothing to fall back to. And that was just ingrained in my mind ever since I was a little kid. And I've developed this pretty toxic way of thinking of I got to be perfect, and I I have to excel in everything that I do, and I gotta be at the top. A lot of that involves comparing myself to others, and whenever you're excelling, it's easy to do that, and it's not good. Regardless, you shouldn't compare yourself whenever whenever you're at your peak, and you shouldn't compare yourself whenever you're at your lowest. Comparison in general is just not something that's entirely too healthy to do, and sometimes maybe if you're like me, it's just ingrained in your mind, and it's really difficult to stop doing. But as long as you try and you realize that everybody moves at their own pace, and if you can just ignore those negative voices that say you have to be something at this age, and you have to be something at this time in your life, if you can ignore those voices and try your best and realize that they're not good for you, tackling life becomes just a little bit easier. Of course, it's a lot easier said than done, but nothing in life is gonna be easy. Nothing in life is gonna be, it's not rainbows and sunshine every single day. And it's definitely not rainbows and sunshine when it comes to other people telling you how you should live and things of that nature. But whenever things like that, show up, where it's like external variables are affecting how you think and affecting your mental health, it's like that's an opportunity for you to develop yourself how you should think, and develop your reflection skills, and develop what is good for you and what is bad. And that ultimately helps you navigate through life as well, because at the end of the day, nothing is more important than how you perceive yourself, and the self-love, and in taking care of yourself in that way. And kind of treading back to, if you're 22 years old, if you're younger than 30, you shouldn't have it all. You don't need to have it all figured out. I feel like that can apply to not even just being younger than 30, but any age, any phase in your life. I know a lot of older people, the older they get, the more they don't want to try, and the more they kind of give up. And that's because it's like, well, I've already lived my life, and it's too late to change now. And it's not. It's never too late to change, as cliche as it sounds. A lot of these advice, a lot of the wisdom and advice that I've garnered over my years is a whole bunch of cliches, but it works, and it's just how reality is. And it's like, you can be somebody at 50 and you can keep going, or maybe you're not somebody at 50 years old, but you got another 10 years from 50 to 60. A lot can happen in 10 years if you try. Now, of course, you don't have as much energy if you're older compared to whenever you're younger, but it's all about how you think, what you think of yourself, what you think you can do, and having that positive, optimistic kind of mindset that is like, yeah, well, I'm gonna figure it out no matter what's gonna happen, no matter what my present situation is. Even if it's bad, I'm gonna figure it out. And if you have that mindset, that is a mindset very few possess, because it's a difficult one. Because whenever you're in the midst of tribulation and struggle, and you're fighting with kind of yourself, it's really difficult to put your mind in a light that would help you. And rather, most of the time, it's a lot easier to become cynical and to become bitter and to become hopeless in life. And then it kind of snowballs into that negative outlook. Everything is a snowball. I've learned in life. It starts with the small things, and it starts with how you think of yourself. It starts with the tiny things. You wake up, you tell yourself, I can do this, I can't do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna take these small steps towards my future. I'll just wait another day until it feels right, and then I'll start it. And honestly, it's all about the small things. But like I said, in the midst of it all, it feels like you're going nowhere. but the small things, they add up. And a year from then, 2 years, maybe even months, you start to see the results just a little bit. And I feel like everything in life is exponential. Money, finances, success, and everything. It's not a steady slope. I feel like it's pretty exponential. And the most difficult phase in your life is always the beginning. Just getting started, just still going, and just still keeping your head down, just working hard. Even if it seemingly looks like you're not going anywhere in life, I think that's the most difficult, to stay on your track in that phase. And of course, the middle phase, it can go either way. It can either have an upwards trajectory or a downwards trajectory. And that really depends on, like I said, how you think of yourself and doing the small things every day, even though it feels like you're not going anywhere. If you're disciplined enough to believe in yourself every single day and truly believing that you can be somebody in this life, and doing your best to achieve your dreams, that upwards trajectory becomes a little bit more exponential, and then you start seeing results, and it's like, well, this is worth it. Versus, if you tell yourself that I'm just gonna wait last second to do this, or wait until the time feels right, or I'm comfortable right now, even though what I'm doing is not setting my heart on fire and I'm not passionate about it, and it's a downwards trajectory. And it's not always easy to be aware of these things. It's not always easy to recognize the things that you need to do, to recognize the things that are good for you, and to recognize the things that are bad for you, especially in a time where you're not in the best mental state. Life is a grind, and for me right now, it feels like I'm going nowhere. And trust me, there's so many people out there that feel the same way. But what I can say is, we're all in this together, and it's not a uncommon occurrence, and it's not a rare experience. Everyone experiences this, but the successful people and the people that at the end, make a life that they're proud of, it's the people that kept going, and it's the people that kept telling themselves that, one day it's gonna be good, and if I keep working towards it, and I keep being resilient, and I keep persevering, and I keep being optimistic. And it truly is something incredible, is just the way that you think and the road that you take in your thinking. It's night and day. Whereas you can keep uplifting yourself versus talking yourself down, and you go down a different path that's just kind of confirms to what you're experiencing now, and it's like, wow, I really am going nowhere, and it accumulates and it snowballs and it becomes your reality. This doesn't just apply to young people or any of that. If you're old, I'm not dissing old people. But if you're, on the older side, it's never too late either. Of course, you don't have the same type of energy and the same type of physical or physiological prowess that you had in, your earlier years. But just being consistent and having that mentality of just not giving up. I'm sure there's a lot of people who became very successful in their later years. It's just we don't know about it. Nowadays with social media, it's so easy to compare yourself, and that's just it's really toxic, and it's just not realistic. It doesn't show the true day-to-day life of the average, or of the common person, the average person. Social media is just the highlights of, I feel like it's either the highlights or the very, very fucking lowlights of the human race. And it doesn't capture what reality really is. So I'm telling you now, if you're struggling, man, keep going just like I am. I'm on this boat with you. This video is a little bit different than what I usually do, but I feel like it's good. It's something that I've been thinking about doing for a long time. No script, just talking, just trying to be relatable, and to help whoever is watching this. But if you've enjoyed this video and it's, helped you in any way, or there's even any type of takeaway and you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and like. I'm gonna keep going. Even though it doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere, I still have a little bit of hope. And I just really don't want to give up. 10 years from now, it's gonna accumulate. I kind of just feel it. I can either go down a route that's gonna make me proud, or I'm gonna go down a route that's gonna make me a little bit bitter. And I definitely don't want to take the route that's gonna make me a shell of myself and make me regret giving up. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace and love. All glory to God.